Hello. Without the use of a vacuum pump or a pressure chamber, we are going to cast in resin beautiful cabinet knobs or drawer pulls, and I'm going to show you how to do that with just 3 items: silicone, resin, and a little bit of color. I went to the home improvement store, looked through their knobs, and this is the one I selected. I like it because it's nice and thick through this point right here. Because if you get a knob that's super thin, it won't hold up because the plastic's not thick enough when you pull and close the cabinet door. So you have to make sure that you get a knob that's nice and thick through here. Now what we're going to do now is to add a nylon base, and we're going to use a little bit of tight bond glue and glue it on the base. Now what that nylon spacer does, it acts as a catch-all for any bubbles or anything that should come up. And so if there's any impurities or any bubbles, they will flow up into this spacer and catch them. Okay, we got the knob all glued up with the spacer on the bottom. Now the next step is to make a containment mold. And I'll be using PVC pipe from my local home improvement store. 2 sizes, smaller and a little bit larger, because I'm going to make a 2-step mold, because I want the bottom part here to be a smaller size and the top part a little larger size, so I can get the knob out easier. What we're going to do now is make the bottom half of this plug. So I'm just going to take a little bit of Vaseline. And the next step will be to take some Tite Bond, smear it on this bottom here. Now we're going to mix up some A and B of the 327. Like I said, that's the same thing we'll be making the knobs out of. The only difference is when we make the knobs, we'll be adding a color to it. B cup back into the A cup. And now that A and B are mixed together, I'm going to put it into a 3rd cup. Now I made a mark inside the PVC pipe. You can see it down there, hopefully. Let me show you. And that's about the height that I want to add the resin up to, and then let it cure. It will be translucent or transparent, because this is a resin that you add color to. Perfect, right there. Now we're just going to let that cure. Now that this 327 has cured, what we're going to do is sand it now, and then drill a little ways down into the resin. Now that the plug has been drilled with 6 keyways, we're going to put it inside the bottom PVC. Now these drilled plugs are keyways so that the top mold will fit perfectly and register with the bottom. So now we're going to put it inside, and we're going to glue the knob onto this base in the center of it. So let me get some Tite Bond and eyeball it in. All right, perfect. Now we're just going to let that dry. Now that we've placed this inside the lower PVC, we're going to put the top part on. There. All right, now we're going to fill this all the way to the top, and we're going to be using 29 NV. The NV stands for no vacuum. We're going to do an even 50 grams of NV. So now we're going to put in 10% of that on the B side, which is the catalytic side. We're Gonna mix them together. Now, the curing time is 6 hours on this. This 29 NV is a low viscosity resin, and it has excellent detail properties, which means it'll pick up any of the nice fine details in any of your molds. So we're going to mix it up. We're going to start at a low point. Okay, it's hardened up now. So let's turn it over. We don't need this plug anymore, but however, we can use it over and over again for other knobs. Now what we're going to do now is put the Vaseline on this side of it. But we do need this section because we can put it just on top here like that. Put the Vaseline on this side of it. If you don't coat it, it will stick to the top and you'll just have this block of silicone. We're just going to mix up a batch of silicone and put it in there and wait another 6 hours. And then we will have a top and a bottom. Now that this is cured, let's take it apart and see what we have. There it comes. Okay, now let's take the top part off. All right, here we go. Is a screw hole for all the knobs. So let's take out our original now because we don't need it. We don't need the original now. We got a mold. There's the spacer. There's the knob. Perfect shape. Now we just, and here is our mold. Okay. We'll just trim this up with a pair of scissors. Take a look how fine that silicone picked up the details of that screw. After casting, we may not even have to chase it out. Now we'll just register this back up. Okay, let's mix up some color now. I mixed up 62 grams of Smooth Cast 300, which cures in white. So we're going to add some color to it. I'm going to do 1 drop of blue. The nice thing about this 300 Smooth Cast is it cures 10 minutes. There's our blue right there. 1 small drop. Now we've taken 14 grams of A and 12 grams of B, which is 90%, and we're going to mix them together back and forth, and then we're going to put them into the mold and wait about 15 minutes. Let's see what we have. Now we'll make 2 more for the upstairs bathroom cabinet. All we have to do is cut this off, sand it, and fix it with the screw. Now we'll just repeat this for a couple of times. Now here's the finished knob. And you can see it's just as shiny as the original. It doesn't even need polishing. I've sanded down that where that spacer was to catch any bubbles. And now I've sanded that off, cut off the base, the part where the nylon washer was. Now I can just fit the screw right into it. And that's the advantage of this 2-part mold that has a base and a top. because if it lines up just like the original, there are 3 of them that are going to be put on my cabinet. They're beautiful. Thank you for watching. If you found this interesting, send me a comment and subscribe. Thank you.